Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Minecraft episode. Now, I know I had something planned for today, and, well, I have to push that back a little bit because I just got off of a live stream on Twitch where I went ahead and, did a casual speedrun of Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. And I will be doing other speedruns for that game eventually at some point, as well as other games as well. I do live streams on Fridays of either Smash Ultimate or Minecraft. It just kind of depends. So if you want to follow me over there, go ahead and check out my description as a link to my Twitch channels found over that way. But today we have a very important update because we are in Minecraft pre-release 3, which means that we are getting closer to the full release. And one of the things that I wanted to cover today is, well, what the first thing that you should do with some of your resources that you find in the Nether would be. Now, as you know, there are a lot of changes that are happening to the Nether here, and it seems like we've spawned in a pretty standard wasteland area. But, Nether is now a place that you can really self-sustain quite nicely. A couple of other things, really, really cool what you'll be able to do in here. But my question to you is, what is the first thing that you should do with your netherite ingots? The first time that you get a netherite ingot, what's the first thing that you should do? Should you spend it on one of your tools? Should you upgrade your pick? Should you put it on your sword? Should you give it to your armor? And I'm here to tell you that the answer is no. None of the above. And here's why. One of the cool things that you can do with a netherite ingot is you can take 8 chiseled stone bricks and place your netherite ingot in the middle, and you can craft yourself a lodestone. Now, a lodestone is one of the new things that's being added in this update. And what it does is it allows you to set a compass, which normally doesn't work. So you can see here that the compass is just kind of spinning all over the place. What this does is it allows you to set a compass to this lodestone. And why would you want to do something like that? Well, I'll tell you why. And that's because the Nether is a very expansive area, and without locking a compass onto where you need to go, you can get lost very easily, especially when you're out here looking around for a fortress. Now, one of the updates that they've made in pre-release 3 is it makes it so fortresses spawn a little more readily, so you should have an easier time than before in locating your fortress as you roam around. But if you have a lodestone set at your end portal, or at your nether portal, you'll be able to find your way back from wherever you end up going. Like, I wasn't really paying attention to where I'm at, but because I have my lodestone compass, I can easily find my way back to where my portal is, so I can get out of here and go home when I'm fit and ready to. Now, there's a lot of things that you can use your netherite for. That is just my, by far and large, first and foremost recommendation for what you should do with your first bit of netherite that you acquire. It'll take you a minute, but I think I'm pretty close here. And it's probably up above me or down below me. Yep, right like that. So this should be right here. And we found our way back. Now, this portal is in an absolutely terrible place. So if you were to get a spawn like this, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and find yourself another portal, because this is just probably the conceivably worst spot that it could spawn into. Now, there's probably a little bit of debate of what you should do with the next little bit of your netherite ingots. And personally, this, now you don't have to follow my advice here. This is just my personal opinion of what you should do. But when you get a second piece of netherite, I would recommend that you build it into a second lodestone. And here's why. you can set multiple compasses to different places. So you can rename these even. So this compass that I have here will always point to the lodestone here in the Nether Fortress, whereas this one will always point to my portal so I can get back home. And I think that that is one of the best things that you can do, at least in an overall survival world, until you build yourself a highway or whatever else to it. Then it really doesn't matter. But this is by far what I think is the best use of your first two pieces of netherite. Now for the third one, the third piece of netherite, you know what I recommend that you do with it? I recommend that you craft yourself another lodestone. Just kidding. I'm just toying with you. What I actually think would be best for you to do would be to use your first, well, this would be your third netherite ingot. I would recommend you use your third netherite ingot on a pickaxe to increase the durability of your pickaxe, because that's going to be a very, very nice addition to your toolkit. The second one, I would recommend that you go ahead and apply to your sword. Because you want to have a nice sword on hand. And you could go with an axe, and that's mainly because if you do upgrade it with another axe, that's the highest attack that you can get on an item in the game with that 10 attack damage. It does attack a little bit. It actually looks like it's a little bit a better attack overall. But you could certainly craft yourself these 3 items. Now, once you get to a point where you're tracking down netherite a lot easier, then you're really going to have a nice time with finding the materials that you need for any of this stuff. And that is really what I will do and what I would recommend that you do anytime you load up a brand new world in 1.16. Mainly because that's going to be something that is highly beneficial for you as you get your worlds underway. And you know, once you have things figured out a little bit better, it really doesn't matter what you do with your netherite stuff. But you really want to hold off on coming to the nether until you've got yourself some really nice tools and some really nice armor, preferably stuff with some fire protection, just to make sure that it's something that you're not wasting resources on, and you don't have to worry about too many other things. Now, I did showcase in a previous video what I think is personally my best strategy of locating the ancient debris in order to craft yourself some netherite ingots, and this is a very similar area to what I first did. And I do like how with a potion of fire resistance, you can now view under the lava quite a bit better. I mean, if you jump your way in here, you really can't see a whole lot. You've got to be butted right up next to something in order to tell what it is. But if you drink yourself some fire resistance, it does increase your visibility a little bit, which I greatly appreciate because it will further allow you to have better success in using the technique that I had recommended of being able to dig down to the area that you need to. Now, this lava lake or this lava pool, it's you know, not the deepest of the ones that you could come across, but you do need to go down pretty low in order to reliably find yourself some netherite or some ancient debris in order to make yourself some netherite. But that would be my recommendation, is first make sure that you find yourself some piglins so you can trade and get yourself some fire resistance potions. Secondly, make sure that you can get the lodestone or 2 lodestones put together, because that is going to be your best friend in terms of making sure that you can find your way back to either your fortress or your end portal. And I'm really hoping that this is something that we get pretty soon here, because, well, there's just a lot of really awesome things that I'm excited for, and things that I want to test out once the update has gone live. I'll probably end up making myself a survival world that I will probably do some live streaming on. Playing around with the idea of going into a hardcore world at some point, but I want to get a little bit more familiar with the mechanics of the game before feeling wholly comfortable with that, or comfortable with being able to do that. But that is really what I had in mind for today's video, and suggestions of what I think will be beneficial for new worlds once 1.16 is officially released and able for all of us to play on it freely. So thanks again for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as that greatly helps me out. And I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.